Chapter 14 Upadesa. It is surprising how secret was the Upadesa of Sri Bhagavan, that is to say, the guidance or instruction he gave to his disciples. There is no exact English translation of the word. Although he was accessible to all alike, although questions were normally asked and answered in public, the guidance given to each disciple was nevertheless intensely direct and adapted to his character. When asked once by Swami Yogananda, a Swami with a large following in America, what spiritual instruction should be given to the people for their uplift, he replied, "It depends on the temperament and spiritual maturity of the individual. There can be no mass instruction." It is enough to recall the stories of four devotees already referred to, Echamal, the mother, Shiva Praksam Pillai, and Natesa Mulayer, to realize how enormously the treatment varied. Sri Bhagavan was intensely active. He himself has said so, though none who experienced his grace needed any confirmation, and yet so concealed was his activity that casual visitors and those who failed to perceive believed that he gave no instruction of any kind, or that he was indifferent to the needs of seekers. There were many such, like the Brahmin who tried to dissuade Natesa Mudlayer from visiting him. The extreme importance of this question lies in the fact that, except in the rarest of cases, such as that of Sri Bhagavan himself, realization is possible only through the grace of a guru. Sri Bhagavan was as definite about this as other masters. Therefore, it was not enough for the spiritual aspirant, the sadhaka, to know that his teaching was sublime and his presence inspiring. It was necessary to know that he was a guru giving diksha, or initiation, and upadesa, spiritual instruction. The term guru is used in three senses. It can mean one who, although he has no spiritual attainment, has been invested, like the ordination of a priest, with the right to give initiation and instruction. He is often hereditary and is not unlike a family doctor for spiritual health. Secondly, the guru can be one who, in addition to the above, has some spiritual attainment and can guide his disciples by more potent upadesa, even though the actual practices enjoined may be the same, as far as he himself has gone. But in the highest and truest meaning of the word guru, it is one who has realized oneness with the spirit that is the self of all. This is the Satguru. It is in this last sense that Sri Bhagavan used the word. Therefore he said, God, Guru, and self are the same. And in describing the Guru, he said, in the book Spiritual Instruction, the Guru is one who at times abides in the profound depth of the self. He never sees any difference between himself and others, and he is completely free from false notions of distinction, that he himself is the enlightened or liberated, while others around him are in bondage or the darkness of ignorance. His firmness or self-possession can never be shaken under any circumstances, and the Guru is never perturbed. Submission to this Guru is not submission to any outside oneself, but to the self manifested outwardly in order to help one discover the self within. As Bhagavan said, the master is within. Meditation is meant to remove the ignorant idea that he is only outside. If he were a stranger whom you were waiting, he would be bound to disappear also. What would be the use of a transient being like that? But as long as you think that you are separate or are the body, so long is the outer master also necessary, and he will appear as if with a body. When the wrong identification of oneself with the body ceases, the master is found to be none other than the self. It is axiomatic that one who is a guru in this supreme sense of having realized his identity with the Absolute does not say so, inasmuch as there is no ego left to affirm the identity. Also, he does not say that he has disciples, for being beyond otherness, there can be no relationship for him. Although the jnani or enlightened is one with the Absolute, his traits of character continue to exist outwardly as the vehicle of his manifestation, so that one jnani can have quite different human characteristics from another. One characteristic of Sri Bhagavan was his shrewdness and perspicacity. There seems no doubt that just as he allowed himself to be considered a muni, one who has taken a vow of silence during his early years at Tiruvannamalai in order to avoid disturbance, so he took advantage of this doctrinal impossibility of asserting identity or admitting relationship in order to ward off unwarranted demands for spiritual instruction from those who were not his real devotees. It is remarkable how successful the defense was. While real devotees were not taken in by it and were not intended to be. Let us examine Sri Bhagavan's statements carefully. He sometimes said he had no disciples and never stated explicitly that he was the guru. However, he used the expression the guru as equivalent to the jnani, and in such a way as to leave no doubt that he was the guru. And he more than once joined in singing the song Ramana Satguru. Moreover, when a devotee was genuinely distressed and seeking a solution, he would sometimes reassure him in a way that left no room for doubt. An English disciple, Major Chadwick, kept a record of such an assurance given to him in the year 1940. The conversation went like this. Bhagavan says he has no disciples. Yes. He also says that a guru is necessary if one wishes to attain liberation. Yes. What then must I do? Has my sitting here all these years been just a waste of time? Must I go and look for some guru in order to receive initiation, seeing that Bhagavan says he is not a guru? What do you think brought you here such a long distance and made you remain so long? Why do you doubt? If there had been any need to seek a guru elsewhere, you would have gone away long ago. The guru, or jnani, sees no difference between himself and others. For him all are jnanis, all are one with himself. So how can a jnani say that such and such is his disciple? But the unliberated one sees all as multiple. He sees all as different from himself. So to the ignorant, the guru-disciple relationship is a reality, and he needs the grace of the guru to awaken him to reality. For him there are three ways of initiation: by touch, look, and silence. Sri Bhagavan here gave me to understand that his way was by silence, as he has to many others on occasion. Chadwick continued, Then Bhagavan does have disciples? As I said, from Bhagavan's point of view, there are no disciples, But from that of the disciple, the grace of the Guru is like an ocean. If he comes with a cup, ye will only get a cupful. It is no use complaining of the miserliness of the ocean. The bigger the vessel, the more he will be able to carry. It is entirely up to him. Then to know whether Bhagavan is my Guru or not is just a matter of faith, if Bhagavan will not admit it. Bhagavan sat straight up, turned to the interpreter, and spoke with great emphasis. Ask him, does he want me to give him a written document? Few were so persistent as Major Chadwick in their demand for an assurance. The statement involving recognition of duality would not be made, but short of that, Sri Bhagavan admitted being the Guru clearly enough for any person of understanding and goodwill, and some knew it without verbal confirmation. A Mr. Bose, a Bengali industrialist, as recorded by S.S. Cohen, once tried to elicit a precise statement. He said, I am convinced that a guru is necessary for the success of the sadhaka's efforts. And with a quizzical smile, he added, does Bhagavan feel for us? But Sri Bhagavan turned the tables on him. Practice is necessary for you. The grace is always there. And after a short silence, he added, you are neck deep in water, and yet you cry out that you are thirsty. Even the practice really meant making oneself receptive to the grace. Sri Bhagavan sometimes illustrated this by saying that although the sun is shining, you must make the effort of turning to look at it if you want to see it. Professor Venkatramaya records in his diary that he said to Mrs. Pigott, an English visitor, realization is the result of the Guru's grace more than of the teachings or lectures or meditations. These are only secondary, but that is the primary and essential cause. Some who knew his teaching at second hand suggested that he did not hold it necessary to have a guru and explained the lack of explicit initiation in that way, but he rejected this suggestion unequivocally. S.S. Cohen has recorded a conversation on this subject with Dilip Kumar Roy, the celebrated musician of Sri Aurobindo Ashram. Dilip asked, some people report Maharshi to deny the need of a guru. Others say the reverse. What does Maharshi say? I have never said that there is no need for a guru. Sri Aurobindo often refers to you as having had no guru. That depends on what you call guru. You need not necessarily be a human form. Dattatreya had 24 gurus, all the elements and such. That means that any form in the world was his guru. Guru is absolutely necessary. The Upanishads say that none but a guru can take a man out of the jungle of mental and sense perceptions. So there must be a guru. But I mean a human guru. The Maharshi didn't have one. I might have had at some time or other. And didn't I sing hymns to Arunachala? What is a guru? Guru is God or the self. First a man prays to God to fulfill his desires. Then a time comes when he does not pray for the fulfillment of a desire, but for God himself. So God appears to him in some form or other, human or non-human, to guide him as a guru in answer to his prayer. It was only when some visitor brought up the objection that Sri Bhagavan himself had not had a guru that he explained that the guru need not necessarily take human form, and it was understood that this referred to very rare cases. Perhaps it was V. Venkataraman that he came nearest an explicit admission that he was the Guru. He told him once, "Two things are to be done. First, to find the Guru outside yourself, and then to find the Guru within. You have already done the first." Or perhaps the confirmation that I myself received was even more explicit. After some weeks at the ashram, I perceived that Sri Bhagavan really was a guru giving initiation and guidance. I wrote to inform friends in Europe of this, and before sending the letter, I showed it to Sri Bhagavan and asked whether to send it. He approved of it, and handing it back said, "Yes, send it." To be a guru is to give initiation and spiritual instruction. The two are inseparable. For there is no upadesa, no spiritual instruction, without the initial act of initiation, and no point in initiation unless it is followed up with upadesa. The question, therefore, sometimes took the form of whether Sri Bhagavan gave initiation or upadesa. When asked whether he gave initiation, Sri Bhagavan always avoided a direct answer. Had the answer been no, he would most certainly have said no. But had he said yes, the defense against unwarranted demands for initiation would have been down, and it would have become necessary to accept some and reject others by a decision that would have appeared arbitrary, instead of letting their own understanding or lack of understanding make the decision. His most usual form of reply was that given to Major Chadwick, where he said, "There are 3 modes of initiation: by touch, by look, and by silence." This was the practice usual to Sri Bhagavan, of making an impersonal doctrinal utterance in which, however, the answer to the specific question was to be found. The statement is well known. The 3 modes of initiation, according to the Hindus, being typified by the bird, which needs to sit on its eggs in order to hatch them, the fish, which needs only to look at them, and the tortoise, which needs only to think of them. Initiation by look or by silence has become very rare in this age. It is the Muna Diksha of Arunachala, of Dakshinamurti, and is the mode of initiation particularly appropriate to the direct path of self-inquiry which Sri Bhagavan taught. It was therefore doubly suitable, both inherently and as affording a convenient camouflage. The initiation by look was a very real thing. Sri Bhagavan would turn to the devotee, his eyes fixed upon him with blazing intentness. The luminosity, the power of his eyes pierced into one, breaking down the thought process. Sometimes it was as though an electric current was passing through one, sometimes a vast peace, or a flood of light. One devotee has described it this way. Suddenly, Bhagavan turned his luminous, transparent eyes on me. Before that, I could not stand his gaze for long. Now I looked straight back into those terrible, wonderful eyes. How long, I could not tell. They held me in a sort of vibration, distinctly audible to me. Always it was followed by the feeling, the indubitable conviction that one had been taken up by Sri Bhagavan, that henceforth he was in charge, he was guiding. Those who knew would perceive when such an initiation took place, but it would usually be inconspicuous. It might happen during the chanting of the Vedas, when few would be watching, or the devotee might feel a sudden impulse to go to Sri Bhagavan before daybreak, or at some time when few or none would be present. The initiation by silence was equally real. It entered into those who turned to Sri Bhagavan in their hearts without being able to go bodily to Tiruvannamalai. Sometimes it was given in a dream, as with Natesa Mudaliar. No master was more categorical than Sri Bhagavan about his guidance and protection once a devotee had been taken up and the silent initiation given. He assured Shiva Praksam Pillai in the exposition that was later published as Who Am I, saying, "He that has won the grace of the Guru shall undoubtedly be saved and never forsaken, just as the prey that has fallen into the tiger's jaws will never be allowed to escape." A Dutch devotee, a Mr. Hartz, being able to stay only a short time, and perhaps fearing that his determination might weaken when he left, asked for an assurance and was told, "Even if you let go of Bhagavan, Bhagavan will never let go of you." Two other devotees, a Czech diplomat and a Muslim professor, struck by the unusual force and directness of the assurance, asked whether it applied only to Hartz or to all the devotees, and were told, "To all." On another occasion, a devotee grew despondent at seeing no progress in himself and said, "I am afraid if I continue like this, I shall go to hell." And Sri Bhagavan replied, "If you do, Bhagavan will go after you and bring you back." Even the circumstances of the devotee's life are shaped by the Guru so as to promote his sadhana. One devotee was told, "The Master is both within and without, so he creates conditions to drive you inward and at the same time prepares the interior to drag you to the center."